Bulavinaka, good evening, namaste. Tonight on Fiji Village Straight Talk, we have another leader, this time the People's Alliance leader, Mr. Sitiveni Rabuka, former Prime Minister, former Army Commander, and we will be speaking to him on various issues, of course, the plans as far as the People's Alliance party is concerned, as we go into elections less than a month away. Pre-poll voting to start on selected times, selected venues. These are far to reach areas, maritime areas, the interior parts of Vitilevu, Vanuatu. So pre-polling starts. It doesn't mean that, as we have been saying, voting is not for everyone on December 14th. Voting starts on December 5th and selected times, selected places between December 5th to December 9th. So that's what's called pre-polling. We also have the postal voting. The ballot papers are being printed. The supervisor of elections displayed that over the course of yesterday and today in relation to printing of the postal ballots and the transportation of them. And of course, the postal ballot applications continue to remain open. So on behalf of our listeners and viewers, Mr. Rabuka, thank you very much for accepting our invitation for this show.
Nawale Vijay, Nisambula, glad to be back on the show.
Mr. Rabuka, just getting right into it, why set up the People's Alliance? You were in SVT back in the day. SVT no longer exists, of course. Then you went to Sodelpa after trying a few times and then became a leader, then left that party and now have set up another party. Why that action has to be taken by you?
Well, SVT was a need at the time. There was a need to form a party to take over from the Alliance Party that had been beaten in the 1987 elections, and we wanted to pick up the remnants and continue with the same basic principles of multiracial governance in Fiji. When we lost the election in 1999, we kept going. We contested 2001 and 2006. We had only one candidate in 2006. That was Arvind Deo Singh of Nandi. Then we voluntarily deregistered the party. Then I just stood on the sideline and watched the various maneuverings, etc. And when the new party, Sodelpa, was formed after Mr. Prime Minister Narayan's government had been ousted in 2006. And they called for elections under the 2013 general elections. I put up my hand. First of all, to be one of the founding members, not a founding member, but one of the registered members to enable the registration of that party. Then they called for candidates, and I volunteered, was interviewed, selected, but then there was a big uproar from within the party among the ladies and the youth who objected to my participation in the party because of my coup background. So I withdrew my interest, but stayed and supported the Vanuatu candidates for that election. And in 2016, when the Turangabal Tirakau was the president of the party, he asked me if I would like to apply for the leadership of the party. I applied, was interviewed, and was selected. And fought the election as party leader in 2018. But a provision of the Constitution states that a party leader who did not succeed in winning the election and forming government must resign. I did that, but I was asked to stay on until 2 years before these elections, when the Constitution also stipulated that a new leader should be appointed. And that happened in 2020. I again put up my hand and volunteered to be interviewed. I was interviewed. Unfortunately, I was beaten at, I don't know whether it was at the interview or at the management board selection. So I got voted out. I felt that my style of leadership, or perhaps my energy, was not exerted in the right place, or perhaps they considered that I was not the right person to lead the party. So they chose Honorable Rabuka to be the new party leader, and I felt that my services were no longer required there, so I came out. And the young people who had followed me and voted for me in 2018 felt that I still had something to contribute, and volunteered to go out and get support for the registration of the party. We formed the party. We had a few lawyers draw up a constitution according to what I thought should be in that constitution, and the vision, mission, and values that I had treasured all along since the 1990s or the late 80s, when we were formulating the principles, etc., of the SBT party.
Mr. Rabuka, can you tell the people why you should be given another shot at leading Fiji?
Well, at the moment, two elections have shown that the people of Fiji still do not see anyone to provide the alternative to the Fiji First. It came close in 2018 elections when, under my leadership, the SODELPA gained 6 seats from the 15 it had in the 2014 general elections. So there was an indication that there was a core group of supporters among the populace in the voting population that had confidence in me. They liked my style, that they were old enough to have witnessed the way I ran the government between 92 and 99, and felt that I should be given another chance. They felt that we had a good chance in 2018. And I believe that if we had gone through with the Court of Disputed Return pursuit, perhaps the court would have ruled kindly on us.
Now, Mr. Rabuka, you've appeared in these shows before, and we've talked about the coups, and we've talked about NBF, and it won't be a repeat of the same things. You conducted 2 coups in '87, then became Prime Minister in the elected government in 1992, which was conducted under the 1990 Constitution. After your government budget defeat in 1993, Fiji went to the polls again in a snap election in 1994, and you then served as Prime Minister after winning it until 1999 and brought in the 1997 Constitution. After all this, what is your view on democracy, democratic principles, the rule of law, and overthrow of a democratically elected government?
It is wrong to overthrow a democratically elected government because you want to regain democratic values and systems. And a pillar value of that is the consultation. And we must be serious about saying what democracy is. We glibly say that democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And everybody can say that. What does it mean? It means the constant consultation, the constant exchange of views and ideas between the leaders and the led. At the moment, we have seen a decline in the value of the democracy that we have in Fiji. There has been a top-down flow of laws. There has been very little consultation with the people. A lot of the things have happened without their proper approval in the various strata of leadership in our communities. Therefore, we live in a sham democracy led by totalitarian politicians who would rather just rule on their own and to hell with everybody else.
Mr. Rabuka, when did you realize that the overthrow of a democratically elected government is not the right thing to do.
Correct.
When did you realize that it's not the right thing to do?
Well, as soon as we did it in '87, we saw the pain and the discomfort in the international relationships, and particularly our relationship with the monarchy in the United Kingdom. Uh, I knew it was wrong. I knew it was not the thing to do, and I was very unhappy that there was an attempt in 2000 and again in 2006.
The Fiji First General Secretary, in one of the press statements, when he was comparing the leaders of the different parties, has said that Mr. Rabuka has switched parties, is the father of coups in Fiji. We have people who have been very unprincipled, who want to form an alternative government. What is your comment?
My comment is that he should not be throwing stones. He's in a glass house. Uh, Unprincipled because of the coup, following the footsteps of a coup leader is wrong. And following the example, when you know first of all that it was wrong, you saw the sufferings in '87 and 2000 and the disruptions and so on, and still went ahead and followed the leader of the 2006 coup. I think he is showing the signs of a very ill-informed person, an imbecile, and one who's self-centered.
You're on Fiji Village Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. Our guest tonight is Mr. Sitiveni Rabuka, the leader of the People's Alliance Party. Mr. Rabuka, questions have been raised about you apologizing for your actions and whether it is sincere. What do you have to say to those who say that they still do not trust you?
Well, I cannot help that. There are a lot of people who come and apologize to you, and you say, "Oh, I accept your apologies," but then you're not totally committed to your acceptance. We differ. Some of the people who have expressed their forgiveness, that they have forgiven me, are genuine, and I'd like to live on the hope that there are more of them. Some have come up openly, some have not, and looking at those that have spoken kindly to me since I came back into politics, some of them were victims of the coups in '87, has been very encouraging. The prime example of someone who had forgiven me and was prepared to bend over backward to accommodate our genuine attempt to restore democratic processes in Fiji was the late Jairam Reddy. I was fortunate a few months ago to have met Harish Sharma. These were great Indo-Fijian leaders. They were hurt by '87, but then they came back and genuinely helped us in the construction and the promulgation and enactment of the 1997 Constitution. There are some who some have now joined my party, the People's Alliance, who were also victims of '87. The National Federation Party as a whole were victims of, members of that were victims of '87, and the party is now a partner in a memorandum of understanding on forming the government together after the coming elections.
In a rally in Nosori yesterday, Ayar said KU made some comments saying that parties like People's Alliance are going to the Itoke community and saying that the Fiji First will take away their Itoke land and there's too many people in other ethnic groups and not talking about policies. There are comments also made about the Itoke land issue and about that some parties are going and talking about freehold land, that your freehold land will be converted to Itoke land. Mr. Bainimarama says if this is being said by the people, and if people start listening to that, then there will be anarchy. There will be, he said, there will be murders. There will be people who will get badly hurt. Is People's Alliance involved in any of that, what's been claimed?
Well, if Bainimarama thinks that it will result in murder, maybe that's the only solution he knows. People must understand that freehold land titles are sacrosanct. You cannot alienate freehold land titles. That is part of the inherited laws that we have inherited from the British. When the land issue was brought up in Fiji, we have lived with a hybrid system of custom and tradition systems for the native landowners, as well as British common law on the scheduling of land and ownership of land. So those that say that and those that believe the people who say that are also very, very ill-informed.
So there's no attempts by People's Alliance whatsoever in any meetings where what is being claimed by the Fiji First in a rally is being done on the ground?
As far as I know, all the meetings I have attended, and I have encouraged my members to shy away from that. We cannot say that because it's the wrong thing to do, wrong thing to say, and it cannot be done. Titles cannot be alienated. That is a rule everywhere.
Mr. Rabuka, what is your stand on Itoke land, knowing that more than 90% is Itoke land in Fiji and cannot be sold as stated in the 2013 Constitution?
That is correct. And I said in Fijian, and on the two in the Sanganlewa, it is ours, but we have no control over it.
Why do you say that?
Because that's the way it is. That's the way the 2013 Constitution and the subsequent acts and bills that were taken up to Parliament have been engineered and shaped so that once it is de-reserved and taken into the leasing processes under TLTB, the original landowners have no more say on the extension of the leases, on the mortgaging sale of the leases, and so on.
You have an issue with Bill 17, which is now an act. Is it that the case that the consent is not coming from the landowners
I have
for
an issue with that.
mortgagee of that land?
That's exactly what I was talking about. There's been no consultation. They just went ahead thinking that only two of them have the brains to be able to work out those rules and legislations without consulting the genuine landowners who have inherited the land from their own forebearers.
So if you come into government, you will take away that act, that where the consent has been taken away for landowners for things like mortgagee on land after the person has leased the land.
Yes, we will take it away. We will take it away. We will make the trustees of the native land be trustees. And one of the requirements for the Native Land Trust Board is to consult with the board, and the board consults with the landowners.
You're watching Fiji Village Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. We'll be back straight after this break.
What I did in 2006 is to clean up the mess in the study.
When there has been Itoke leadership, everybody has been embraced.
He cannot stomach the fact that he's not in government.
You said that you couldn't pay out bonuses, but this shows an increase in board directors' fees.
You are wanting to lead the country, not me. I'm asking you the question again, back to corporal punishment. Right. What's your stand on it?
Fiji First cannot intervene into a personal matter.
Absolutely you can for small businesses.
I was very surprised when he came out with that statement that I would conduct a coup if I lose. Not
Hand
me.
on your heart.
It's him.
No, you're a joke.
No, you were a joke.
You're a joke.
You're a joke.
Don't bring that up. You don't.
No, I gotta bring it up. You were commander.
But yes,
Every military officer and serviceman at the time was under your
you've
command.
forgotten you trained them.
Bulu Vinaka, this is Fiji Village Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan.
Fiji Village Straight Talk with Vijay Narayan. Sponsored by Salt and Pepper Home Decor. Living in high quality. Watch it live on the Fiji Village Facebook page. Download the all-new Fiji Village app. Get the latest news direct to your mobile. Get the latest sports updates from our scoreboards online. Navigate easily through our categories. Watch videos from Straight Talk interviews, local music videos, sports, and many more. You can now easily listen to your favorite radio stations from your phone. Download the all-new Fiji Village app right now.
Welcome back here on Fiji Village Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. Our guest tonight, the leader of the People's Alliance Party, Mr. Sitiveni Rabuka. Mr. Rabuka, questions are coming in and people can call with their questions 3314-766 and 7730-766 or send us emails straighttalk@fijivillage.com. A question from Manasa Duvanga. Can Mr. Rabuka please clarify what is the People's Alliance plan with regards to TELS payments?
TELS is an agreement. It's a pact between the student and the government, where the government has facilitated a loan for them to go to tertiary education. And that contract is sacred. They must honor that contract. The students agreed to pay when they got their jobs, and the government agreed to pay for their education.
So as far as TELS payments are concerned, some parties are saying they will forgive the debt and other issues. Definitely the People's Alliance are not looking at those options based on the amount of money that has to be forgiven?
Forgiving debt is a normal thing with financiers and their customers and clients. And it's up to the lender to work out their own situation. In this case, the government will find out whether it is possible to forgive the debts or not. And that will take place. The government will have a look. And if it is in the interest of all, the government and the students for the loan to be forgiven, it will be. Otherwise, if the government is in no position to forgive debts, how can it?
Some students are saying that they owe about $30,000, they can't get a job and they've got a loan hanging over their head. What do you have to say to them?
That is the failure of the government. The government should know how many people come through the education system every year, and they should have the employment market expanding to absorb the growing population coming into the labor force. Their failure to find employment is a failure of the government to provide employment. Why are they looking for work? Why are they unemployed when we continue to recruit expatriates to come and work in our civil service, for example? Why do we have so many expatriates working in the labor force, in road construction, when that used to be a big sponge absorbing the number of people coming out of our education system and perhaps branching out, not drop out, branching out before they get into tertiary education.
What's the plan for the current toppers and TELS scheme for the students who are coming out, secondary school students are interested in? What's your plan? What's the People's Alliance
Our plan is that government must continue to train its labor force. The human resource development of any nation is the responsibility of the government, particularly the support for those that are well geared and motivated to achieve. And that is gauged at the final examination in the secondary schools in the year 13 or year 12. So they come out and they must be rewarded for their efforts. And if they become what we now call toppers, then they go into government-funded education, which used to be the PSC or government scholarships in the past. Those that do not quite make it will have to be assessed on how close, what is the potential of them qualifying with university degrees and in what areas. The government must have a plan on the requirements, those that will go into white-collar jobs, those that will go into the skills sector of the labor force. And we issue and we support education in those areas where you will get some sort of scholarship for full-time or even part-time and progressive scholarships as you go along.
So you'll expand on the current setup based on TELS toppers and you'll expand further?
Yes.
So more scholarships you're looking at
More scholarships,
for those
I
who may
believe.
deserve it.
Yes.
Based on merit and.
Based on merit and the requirement of the labor force.
Now, another question here. What is your plan to upgrade villages and rural dwellers by making use of the resources they have to enable them to come out of poverty that they are stuck in the rural areas?
How do we know that the people in the rural areas are poor? What do you use as a gauge? Is it the household income? If you do that, it's not applicable in a rural setting because most of those rural dwellers live very comfortably. They eat good food, they have shelter, and they perform the communal tasks in the villages. So I think it's not right to say that our rural dwellers are poor. They are comfortable and they are not poor. But if you use the universal guideline of household incomes, then you could be led into believing that not only rural, but there are also urban dwellers or peri-urban dwellers who may be classified as poor according to Western gauges.
Coming back to you've just said that there's a lot of land that we have. How can that, because in most of the rural areas, people are trying to come from the rural areas to the urban areas. The rural-urban drift continues. What's your plan in relation to that, as far as utilization of land is concerned?
That is the way we should be going. We should be facilitating the utilization of land. And the SVT government and the Prime Minister Langarase's government had started those programs of empowering the rural dwellers to continue to use and use it at a commercial scale rather than subsistence levels they had been used to for generations.
I think people would want to hear more in relation to that as far as agriculture is concerned, because right now there's a lot of talk, and we saw during COVID-19 when we were heavily reliant on tourism, and when the borders were shut, a lot of people got affected. And then some decided we have to provide for ourselves, and we cannot have all the eggs in one basket. What's your plan?
I think COVID-19 was a blessing in the sense that it wakened us up to our own potential. I went to my village and the people in the village were quite comfortable with what they were getting from their surrounds. Food was plentiful, fish was available, and the very little things that they add, condiments that they need to buy from the shops was also available and readily buyable with the little income generating crops that they had. They were sufficiently looked after by nature.
And we know the People's Alliance is releasing its manifesto on Saturday. Would you have more policies targeted towards these?
Yes, they will notice that what I'm saying in general are itemized in our manifesto.
Nistar Khan has messaged, how can we trust Mr. Rabuka to run the Fijian economy when we saw NBF go under his watch?
NBF went under our watch as a result of what had happened before our watch.
Elaborate for Nistar, please.
It was already going down. It was already falling when we came on, and there was a lot of things that shouldn't have been done with a bank, particularly a national bank that was still trying to find its own place in the community of banks in Fiji at the time. It was a new bank. It developed from the Post Office Savings Bank and into a personal bank and became the National Bank of Fiji. And there were some management decisions that were not very properly carried out or researched before they were done. And when there was the jolt, the bank was left carrying the can. And a lot of the assets they had were not worth what was declared in the loan documents. So when the bank had to recover, they couldn't recover the total amounts. So we had to divide the bank up into two sections. So one was the personal bank, and one was the asset management bank, where we sold, the bank sold the assets they had under mortgage sale and recovered less than what they had lent. And the personal bank side kept going until it was well enough to attract investors like the Colonial Insurance Company.
Mr. Rabuka, there's a caller from Australia, Rob. He's asking you, what will you do to those that left during the coups of 87 and 2000 and are now citizens of foreign countries? He's asking because he went overseas because of the 87 coup, now a citizen of New Zealand, and if Mr. Rabuka comes into leadership, will he welcome these citizens back?
We did that in the SVT government and offered them a special rate to regain their Fiji citizenship. Right now, it's very, very expensive, equally expensive for returning citizens as those that are coming in for naturalization for their citizenship. There will have to be that special category for those that were Fiji citizens and went away. We should continue to welcome them back. In fact, I went out to Australia and New Zealand and specifically mentioned that Fiji would welcome them back.
And you'll be relooking at the fee they have to pay for citizenship?
Yes, we will look at the fees. Why pay the same as somebody who is coming up from nowhere, coming and applying for naturalization to someone who is returning home?
Mr. Rabuka, Hector Zing Jr. Is listed infrastructure, roads, water, electricity, public transport. To date, nothing upgraded from your previous time in government till today. There's still problems with water and electricity, which is still ongoing. Why should the people of Fiji give you another chance in office?
We had brought those roads up to very good motorable conditions, and the water was growing very well. And there was the relaying of the mains in the main Suvarnasori areas. And since then, there have been no improvements. The population has grown in the urban and peri-urban areas. There's been the rural to urban flow of population continued, and the infrastructure development to stay abreast with the increase in the number of people has not been done. That is why we have this problem in roads and water and electricity. And the people should know that while we are patching potholes, we are patching up potholes and increasing lanes in our main tourism centers and urban centers. People are still waiting for roads in the rural areas. They don't have roads.
Mr. Ayasad Kayum has said in a few rallies and even press statements, people should not be just looking at water cuts, potholes, roads, when they're going to vote in these elections, because it is about everything, not just about one single thing. What's your comment?
They are part of that one single thing, improving the standard of living, the quality of life. They all contribute. That one single thing is the quality and quality of life.
What do you have to say to people who do not have water running in their taps almost every night and on a daily basis?
Now that we have running water in the urban, in the rural areas, I think we are very fortunate, but we should not lift them out of water tank age, and they now rely on piped water, and then make it unreliable. At one stage, it was even illegal to have water tanks catching rainwater off the roofs. Those are the things that people should now be considering. It may be unhygienic. I do not know. The health and hygiene people should look at that. But people are very fortunate that they have piped water.
What
remember.
about those who do not have water on a daily basis, even in urban areas? You talked about population increasing, and because of that, the Suvarnasuri corridor calls are coming in. They just do not have water, and it's been stated that because of the increasing population will face this, Viria water supply is about to step in, which is expected to sort of take away this low supply. They have to do operations every night to ensure people have water when they wake up in the morning. What's your assessment?
Why have people not adapted? Why don't we accept that water cuts will be a part of everyday expectations? Why don't we store water when we have it running?
When your government, or if your government comes in, how will you look at the water infrastructure issue?
We'll have to look at the mains all over again, and the catchment areas, and the reservoirs, whether we have adequate to cope for the increasing population in the urban areas.
The questions about USP. What is your stand on the Fijian government grants to USP totaling more than $80 million now, not paid to USP? What will a People's Alliance government do?
It's very irresponsible, first of all, to have cut or withheld the obligation. It was an obligatory payment by a member country of the USP community. It was very, very irresponsible. And we will not let them forget that. We should be reminded this is a very irresponsible act on your part. They have had their children come through the university, and now they can cut the grant. Is that fair? Why cut it now? We will look at it, and it's not a grant, it is an obligation. We are obliged to contribute to that. It's a university set up in Fiji for the Pacific.
Mr. Rabuka, people are asking about the current social welfare pensions and other initiatives that this government has started. What will you do?
They did not start it. They did not start it. It was started by the colonial government.
Are they asking
social welfare payments were done during the colonial government.
Exactly, but I'm asking about what will you do? Will you take them away? For example, the social...
Why take them away? It is unnatural to take it away. The natural thing to do is to increase it so that it keeps up with the cost of living. That's
exactly the question here that I'm getting to. So social welfare pensions, one of the people is asking, will you continue with them? Currently, they're paid $100 a month. And they say that's in cash. And that's like $3.33 per day. How can a person survive on this? What will you do?
What were they surviving on before?
I wouldn't know. They've asked the question about whether you will continue with the social welfare pension.
Yes,
at
we will.
$100 a month, or you're looking at increasing it?
It will have to be
expanding it.
It will have to be increased in accordance with a survey that will have to be taken to determine the cost of living at certain stages. You know, whether you can do it every 5 years, where you do a cost of living adjustment and you increase the wages as well as the pensions.
A cost of living, coming to that. A lot of people are talking about prices of goods and services. International events are also causing that. Freight charges are rising. Fuel prices are increasing. Everything is connected to that. How will you deal with that? We've got a debate on the economy and looking at this, zooming into this, but as a leader, as an aspiring Prime Minister, how do you look at that?
You talking about Marama?
I'm talking about you.
Oh, I thought you were saying expiring Prime Minister.
I said aspiring.
Aspiring, okay. Different. Well, an aspiring Prime Minister would have looked at all those things. And when the Minister for the Economy blamed international events for inflation, he was quite right. But you cannot just stop at blaming. What can you do rather than offloading the increase in the costs to the citizens without increasing their capability to pay, you have not really done your duty. Your duty is to soften that. And you don't just soften it by borrowing or asking the international community, please help us by inflation mitigation grants and things like that. That is a very poor way of showing responsible leadership. Responsible leadership would take the cost, the rising cost, and soften it on the consumers. And you do that by relooking at the various national gate costs, the ports and airports, etc. If you reduce what the government demands at these entry points, you can reduce the cost that's passed on to the consumers.
So you're talking about the fees, charges,
Correct.
the duties,
Yes.
etc.
So that you do not unnecessarily increase value-added taxes. All those things are value-adding onto the cost of the commodities.
What is your plan on creating employment opportunities?
Encouraging investment, making making it easier for the investors to come in. Right now we are well below 120, I think we're 136 in the ease of doing business. It's so complicated to set up business, and a lot of our intending investors go away frustrated. And you can only improve that when you consult with them. And we consult with the business communities in Fiji who are going through the same problems. There has not been any big business consultation program where people are listened to. They come in and they're lectured to by these two who are leading the government of today.
How will you change that?
Consultation. To and froing of ideas, rather than speaking down on them, lecturing them, telling them this is what we decide is good for you. Ask them, what do you need? What do you want us to do?
You're watching Fiji Village Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. We'll be back after this break. Bulavinaka, I'm Vijay Narayan. As Fiji goes to the polls, we at Fiji Village are committed to bringing you fair, accurate and balanced coverage of the issues that matter. Visit the Fiji Votes 2022 section on Fiji Village for all the latest on the 2022 Fijian general elections.
Download the all-new Fiji Village app right now.
This is Fiji Village Straight Talk. I'm Vijay Narayan. Our guest tonight, the leader of the People's Alliance Party, Mr. Sitiveni Rabuka. Mr. Rabuka, talking about health. What is your assessment on the current situation in the health sector, and what are some of the specific actions as the leader you think should be taken?
First of all, I'd like to go back and reintroduce what Ratu Sakamisa Samara had done during his time. He had encouraged physical activity for fitness, and his punchline then was health is wealth. And when we look at the health situation in Fiji, it's the facilities have been run down for some years. there should be a constant cycle of repairs and upgrading for all the health facilities and all the other government facilities we have. That has been neglected, and we must also encourage the people to stay healthy through physical activities and training and recreation. This government has tried to introduce PE periods for their workforce. That's a good thing to do, and but we should not take away service time from the public. They must be served during the times of office from 8:30 or whatever time it is to 4:30, and workers should not be finding time off during that time. They should find their own time so that they can work better, so that they are healthier, so that they're not taking any sick leave during the time, and we'll have a healthy workforce and a healthy population.
What about medical equipment? We've got issues being raised by people about even visiting surgeons, heart surgeons, etc., about questions about why can't government have a specific number of pacemakers, etc., for those who desperately need them, apart from relying on donations, medical equipment that is in public hospitals to ensure that people who cannot afford can go there instead of the only other option is the private facilities.
It is very sad that we have to rely on private facilities which can only be afforded by those that are affluent in our society. We should make health facilities and good health facilities and treatment available to the majority of the population, whether they can afford it or not. The health department should just go back to the very basics, preventive, curative, and tertiary, and just keep going with that cycle. Recently, we've had a very, very high-profile attention given to Fiji by the Heart Foundation that's looking after our young children. They've come up with some very interesting discoveries on the percentage of young people who may have heart problems. And it is now time for us to interpret the data. Why do they have so many? Is it our diet? Is it something else? Is it genetic? And when you do the research, you will find the solutions. And our health authorities should have done that a long time ago. And also the facilities, we had a doctor who visited us a few times, speaking to some of us while he was here with his team, pointing our attention to the deplorable condition of the equipment and the lack of equipment we have in Fiji.
So the reading that I'm getting is that you'll get the health experts to assess and the government will work based on that?
We should.
What
That's the way
is
it should
needed
be.
first,
Yeah.
based on priority?
They are the experts.
A lot of talk about government debt as at July 2022, $9.1 billion or 89.4% of GDP. And it was also stated that we lost government revenue close to $2.8 billion. This was stated in government revenue, was stated during the pandemic, and all these figures were given in the 2022-2023 national budget. Now with a debt of 9.1 billion, if you are going in that situation, what are you looking at? Because there's a lot of talk about rising debt. There's a lot of talk about wastage. What will your government do if they come in?
The area we'd be looking at is wastage. If there has been wastage, we cut down on that because there is no need to be wasting money. And wastage could be on doing things that we really do not need. Let's look at the needs first, and the lesser needs or the wants, and would be nice to have much later. Debt is is an ordinary phenomenon with every country, every nation. Every nation has debt. It's our ability to repay. And when we get to a situation where we are borrowing to pay debt, then like in our own personal situations, that's when the bank look at you and say, you are insolvent. In our case, our GDP is a little higher, but then our expenditure every year, what we spend and what we gain or what we collect from from revenue should be close together. It's idealistic to expect a balanced budget, but some countries do manage. In ESVT, government came up with a balanced budget for 1 year, and we were very, very happy with that. But it's something that everybody has to work hard towards. We have to be exercising national discipline on our expenditure. The cost of government and the cost of workers in the government. How much are they being paid? Do they deserve or do they warrant such a big salary when you look at the other sectors? So there needs to be a salary review, a wages and salary review, like was done about 30 years ago. And from then on, we just continued with cost of living adjustment and assessments. And if we can do that, we can keep abreast with the rising costs, and also our increase in debt will be relative to increasing costs in living.
Mr. Narumbe, the Unity Fiji leader, was here. He said the wastage could equate to as high as $1 billion a year based on assessments. And he said there can be a lot of cuts done, sensible cuts. Have you looked at numbers? Has your team looked at some numbers when you talking about wastage?
Our teams have looked at numbers, and we came to the same conclusion. There is a lot of wastage, and a lot of the wastage we see every day. Potholes being patched up about twice a month. That means the patching work was not done properly. While you're patching it properly or not properly, you're paying the wages of the workers. And if they come back and do the same thing after 2 weeks, you're still paying them the same for one job that could have been done better the first time and left for a month or 2 months or even the whole wet season.
Mr. Somjit from Nakasi is asking you, Mr. Rabuka, what are your plans for the future of Fiji in terms of hiring qualified locals to posts that are being taken by expats? He's asking this because he says we have qualified people locally.
I agree. We're very highly qualified local people. And yet we still go out and use the open merit recruitment system as our excuse for going out into the world and recruiting these. If it's an open merit one, why don't we pay them what we pay our locals? When they come in, we give them expatriate rates. That is very, very unwise, to use a euphemistic term.
Sonal from Nandi is asking Rabuka, Mr. Rabuka, on your 4-year plan if you go into government in terms of new innovation to help the growth of the economy.
Wait until Saturday.
Saturday, in your manifesto comes out, and of course, Mr. Rabuka will be back in the leaders' debate, and more discussions will happen there, Sonal, on December 11th at 7 p.m. Mahen from Narere, he's asking if you are bringing back the Great Council of Chiefs, what form should it return in if you are planning to do it, and do you think it still has a place in the Fijian society?
I still believe there is a place for the Council of Chiefs. Whether they want to come back or not will have to be their decision. We will have to consult with the removed sitting members and also consult with the provincial councils and Tikina councils, and also at the national level look at whether it has to conform with the old format, the old membership, or we need to be more progressive in being inclusive. The impact of one person appearing in the Great Council of Chiefs was great when Mr. Jairam Reddy addressed the Council of Chiefs. That was a big impact. And why deny the council the expertise, the wisdom of the other races? I think it will be only to the benefit of the nation to have the doors open so that we can co-opt meritorious members of society come in and sit as members, or periodically come and address the members.
So, Mr. Rabuka, also you talking as a former chairman of the Great Council of Chiefs, do you think that we need a council, but a more inclusive one, rather than just one community?
Well, we have, I think it is advisable, and the chiefs will have to be advised. There is nothing wrong with having a national council of chiefs or a council of elders, like the House of Lords, and just to have Turanga, where you have the indigenous chiefs, we can have both.
Another question coming in. Do you have plans for the advancement and retention of all the cultures and traditions in Fiji, including Itoke, Indo-Fijians and others, as the younger generation are starting to lose their culture?
It's very, very interesting that you say that. I was at a Diwali function for the Gujarati community, and I was very impressed at the display of cultural dances at that event, at the Katria Hall. And the sad thing about it is that while the other communities have managed to retain much of the original format of their own cultures, we, the indigenous people, have quickly lost ours. So it is in the interest of the nation that we revive genuine cultural interest, and as well as bringing back the areas, the things that we may have lost over time.
How will you do that?
Just encouraging cultural displays and demonstrations. Gurmit Day, Gurmitia Day, or whatever we will call it, it will be a good time for Indo-Fijian cultural displays. The Chief Day, if you're going to bring back Ratchalala Sukuna Day, it'll be a great day for the display of traditional native cultures of Fiji, and bring in the other cultures to have a multicultural demonstration and display of the wealth of talent and cultures we have in Fiji.
Sometimes people say when you talk about Great Council of Chiefs and other institutions like that, they refer to as, oh, this is becoming racist again. What's your comments to those people?
They can only say that if they are racist themselves.
Why do you say that?
They're pointing in one race in particular.
So if
why stop them from demonstrating things that are valuable or of great value to their race? When you would want to be able to celebrate your own race and your own culture. If this Council of Chiefs will amount to an expenditure of public funds, perhaps they can say, why waste public funds on a group assembly of leaders? In which case, it behoves the Itoke affairs to find sources of revenue to fund the Council of Chiefs without bothering with the public accounts and public funds.
people are asking about civil servants' pay, contracts, retirement age and conditions. You said there needs to be a salary review of civil servants. What's the plan as far as civil servants' pay, the retirement age?
Review. There will have to be a review. And I've mentioned many times the cost of living assessment and adjustments, and tailor that or dovetail that into the civil service pay review. Today I was just going to mention that when I was Prime Minister, I was receiving $71,000 per annum. And I was trying to find out what the basic hourly rate of the workers then was in 1994, it'd be interesting to work out how much the basic rate has increased compared to how much the Prime Minister's salary has increased.
So all of that will be under review.
Yes.
Any cuts decided already?
No, we cannot afford to say cut now because we do not know. The review might come out to say, as far as an assessment of output and income for the output is concerned, they are being underpaid. So we leave it until we get there.
It'll be for civil servants. You will assess if they are underpaid. They'll be reassessed based on the proper salary review.
Correct.
And upgraded. What about for the ministers and the Prime Minister?
Also subject to the same examination.
Thank you, Mr. Rabuka. What are your plans for personal income taxes? Will you increase personal income tax for those who are above the 30,000 threshold, or will you keep that threshold?
I do not know. It will have to come out when we have the tax regime review, as well as the salary reviews and all those things.
How many seats are you targeting to get in this election?
28
Majority on your own.
on our own.
Do you believe you have the right set of candidates
Yes,
to
in
deliver?
the last few days we have gauged an increase and an improved profile of the party, and also, unfortunately, the lesson is sinking home with the people that they must elect the parties, they must vote for parties that will make the threshold. And a lot of people were not sure what the threshold would be until the supervisory election. The Fiji Elections Office came up with the figures of the registered voters, and then reality sank in. How many of these other parties will make that threshold? I'm confident I will make it, and I'm confident that what I felt 2 weeks ago is now a thought of the past, and I'm very confident that we can go for 28 seats.
What is one of the first things you will do if you do lead the next government? The very first thing,
Go and be sworn in.
after getting sworn in.
No, I'll have to assure the nation that we're there for all. There is no need to fear. No need to fear the Rabuka they pictured of 1987. They should learn from the Rabuka of 1997. Just get the people comfortable with their new government. There's going to be no drastic changes. There's going to be no threat on their personal liberties. There's going to be no threat on their right to worship. There will be no threats on their group rights. We will do all those because they are part of the vision and mission and values of the People's Alliance.
Mr. Rabuka, last question, talking about negotiations, of course, if it does come to that, you're saying you're getting 28, that's your target. But if it does come to that, you've got a working partner already in National Federation Party. Professor Biman Prasad was here last night and he confirmed that the arrangement is that you will be the Prime Minister in the working arrangement that they've discussed. So as far as your discussions are concerned, how much of that has been completed based on, you're targeting 28, they may come in with a bit more and then you add together and form government. That definitely would be your plan. What's your plan as far as
we make
the working arrangement?
If we get the 28 on our own, we will still be working with the National Federation Party. Because we are campaigning together. Our policies are akin, and we've worked together in the past, and I trust them, they trust me. So that's the way we're going to go. And it's the best platform for concreting that multiracial cooperation that we need for Fiji and into the future.
The only other question I would ask you at this point in time, we're going into this last few days of intense campaigning. You've talked about fear. You have talked about fear a lot going into before even releasing your manifesto. And you've talked about love. Why that message?
Because we do not want the people to be afraid to come and be with us, to be seen with us. At the moment, some would rather stand back and listen. In that case, they would not be able to get the genuine message from us. and we will not be able to make an assessment of what they're thinking. It also deprives us of the opportunity to be conversing directly with the people we are targeting to vote for us. The main mission is to win the election. The best way to do that is to win votes. And the only way you can do that is to convince them that they are voting for the right people.
This Fiji Village Straight Talk, I'm Vijay, Narayan. We're wrapping things up here. Mr. Rabuka, thank you very much for your time. I know you were up in the highlands of Naitasiri and have been campaigning in different parts of the country, so making yourself available at a very short notice. We thank you for that. And of course, as we've been telling our viewers, our next week we have our invites out. So the Fiji First is yet to confirm. We have sent out invites to the Fiji First leader, Vorenge Bainimarama, and the General Secretary, Ayaz Said Kayum, to come and sit here and talk to you directly and the issues that matter to you, that they can answer that. Then on the 30th of November, we have a panel discussion on the economy and issues surrounding that. Mr. Manoa Kamikamida, the Deputy Leader of People's Alliance, has confirmed for that. And Savinatha Narumbe, the Unity Fiji leader, Professor Biman Prasad, he is checking his schedule, and we will have others. For that, we have also invited the Fiji First General Secretary and Minister for Economy, Ayaz Said Kayum, to attend. And then we have a special straight talk discussion with women. That's on Tuesday, 6 December. We have a straight talk discussion with the youth, the younger candidates of the different parties on the 8th of December. And the final one at 7 p.m. Sunday, 11 December, the leaders' debate, where Mr. Rabuka has confirmed coming for that. Professor Biman Prasad confirmed coming for that. Unity Fiji leader Savinatha Narumbe confirmed coming for that. We are awaiting, and Mr. Ngavoka, the Sodelpa leader, confirming coming for that. We are still awaiting confirmations from the Fiji First leader and the Fiji Labour Party leader. So we'll have all these details coming through. Have a great evening.
What I did in 2006 is to clean up the mess in the study.
When there's been Itoke leadership, everybody has been embraced.
He cannot stomach the fact that he's not in government.
You said that you couldn't pay out bonuses, but this shows an increase in board directors' fees.
You are wanting to lead the country, not me. I'm asking you the question again, back to corporal punishment. Right. What's your stand on it?
Fiji First cannot intervene into a personal matter.
Absolutely, you can for small businesses.
I was very surprised when he came out with that statement that I would conduct a coup if I lose. Not
Hand
me.
on your heart.
It's him.
No, you're a joke.
No, you are a joke.
You're a joke.
You're a joke.
Don't bring that up. We don't.
No, I gotta bring it up. You were commander.
But yes,
Every military officer and serviceman at the time was under your
you've
command.
forgotten you trained them.
Bula Vinaka, this is Fiji Village Straight Talk. I am Vijay Narayan.
Fiji Village Straight Talk with Vijay Narayan, sponsored by Salt and Pepper Home Decor, living in high quality. Watch it live on the Fiji Village Facebook page.